Hello, and welcome back around the boxes. I am, of course, DA Comix here, back with another live stream / video. My hair is a bit of a mess. I just showered, so it's getting impossible to really control it now. It just kind of does what it wants. As you guys can probably tell from all of the videos and stuff, I have not cut it in a while, so it's just growing and growing and growing. I don't know when I'm going to cut it, but probably soon. But, welcome back. This is, of course, my live stream series where I show you guys my new comic book pickups and discuss them and things like that. Didn't have an episode last week because I only bought, I think, 2 comic books last week, so I was like, doing a whole episode for 2 comic books would be about 5 minutes. It's not much more this week because I only have last week's and this week's pickups, so we have a few books. But we also have a lot to talk about with these books, so I think it'll be a decent length ep. But it won't be super long, but I'm trying to make these shorter anyway, so at least for now. But yeah, what else is going on? New episode of Webheads is up if you want to go and check that out if you haven't seen it already. It's been doing pretty well. It's the end of the Steve Ditko era, so we've got up to issue 38. So the next episode is a perfect jumping on point if you haven't been watching Webheads up until now. Let me just bring this over here and show you. If you have not watched Webheads yet, this is our podcast. We're reading through every issue of Amazing Spider-Man. And the next episode, which should be coming out next week, is actually going to be the beginning of the John Romita era. It'll be a huge Spider-Man story with Green Goblin. So that'll be a really good jumping on point for any new viewers who haven't been watching the podcast. So if you want to go and check that out, definitely recommend it. It is going to be pretty cool. But aside from that, I guess we can just dive right into the books this week. I got mostly new books. I did get one back issue. It's actually a little funny. I was like, last week I went and I bought, there was only one new book coming out. And I think it's the same next week. I only have one book. And so I was like, I'll get one back issue, just to throw something in, right? And so I picked this book out and I was like, I don't think I have this. I'll get this. I come home, realize I already had it. So now I have 2 copies of it, but it is Amazing Spider-Man 406, the new Dr. Octopus that did not last very long. People did not like this character, but I thought it was interesting. I saw it and I was like, I don't think I actually have this book. I do. It turns out I do. So now I have 2. Not the worst thing in the world, whatever. But I just think it's kind of a funny concept that it didn't work out. They tried. But that's my back issue for the week. Now we'll dive into the new books. So, first book that I picked up last week. Let me move my phone here. We have Carnage number 3. Now, I'm actually going to take this out of the bag and board because I want to kind of take a look inside. Show you guys some of my favorite parts. I gotta say, I'm really loving this Carnage series. I love that they're not, what's the word? They're not afraid to make it a horror book, which is what it should be, right? I really like the art style. Normally, I don't like art like this, like very abstract art, but it looks really good for Carnage. I mean, it just makes him look really scary. That is an awesome double-page spread there. So I really enjoy the art. It's just fully dark and grim and really fits the vibe of Carnage and what Carnage should be. So it's really good. I love what they're doing with it. I love how Cletus's Codex is in the detectives, and then Carnage, the symbiote, is off kind of doing his own thing. It's it's an interesting duality. And to see where that goes is going to be really interesting. And what I can say, I don't know if I ever talked about this on Around the Boxes. I posted on my Instagram story about it. If you're not following me, at DA Comics on Instagram. They announced the Carnage in Hell promo. It was just like a picture of Carnage looking all demonic, and it was like Carnage in Hell. I was worried that meant that this was in fact a limited series, because I've mentioned it before. I wasn't sure whether this was going to be like a 5-issue limited series or if this was meant to be a new ongoing series. So when they announced Carnage in Hell, I was like, oh, okay, I guess that confirms that that's going to be what's next. But no, that is actually going to be in issue 6 of this series. So as far as I can tell, that seems to confirm that this is looking to be a new ongoing series. Obviously, we'll see how long it lasts. Past Carnage series have not lasted as long, but I love it. I want it to continue for a very long time, and I hope they always do a Carnage series, because if Venom gets his own series, Carnage gets his own series, because I feel like there's a lot of awesome stories to tell with Carnage. And I mean, obviously he is a villain. It's not even, it's not even like he's an anti-hero. It's just following him as a villain, but I think that can make for a very cool comic book series. So not my favorite cover, but really, really good issue. My last really, I guess, not complaint, but comment I can say regarding this issue and this series as a whole. Now that I do know it's an ongoing series, I'm a little annoyed with the lack of a legacy issue number on this, because Carnage in the past has had an established legacy numbering. During Gary Conway's run, they had legacy numbering. And they seem to have ditched that for this. And I don't know why that is. I wish they would do that. They obviously do it for Venom. And I don't know why they chose not to do it for this. I wish they would. Because as a collector, the legacy numbering is my favorite thing in the whole world. So, hope they bring it back. But all in all, I would rate this issue like at least a 7 out of 10. Like, it's definitely worth picking up, in my opinion. If you're not picking up this series, I definitely recommend going out and picking up the first 3 issues. It's worthwhile, in my opinion. I'm really enjoying it. So, definitely happy as a Carnage fan with that. Speaking of symbiotes, next book we have Venom number 8, Legacy number 208. This came out today. The rest of the books that I have came out today. And this is a little bit better than some of the past issues in this run. I've been pretty clear about the fact that I have not been enjoying this run so far. I felt like it really just did some weird things, and I was having a hard time following it, and I was having a hard time really caring. But this issue kind of mixed it up a little bit, and I did enjoy that. Still not a fan of the art. We are 8 issues in, and it's still been the same artist on every single issue. I really, really don't like his art style. I don't know what it is. It's just very boring to look at. I mean, even in a scene that should be very colorful and exciting, like this is, but for some reason it just doesn't catch my eye. It's just very boring to look at. I mean, you look at something like this, that is very bland, not very exciting art, in my opinion. But I did like to see Eddie Brock getting back into action, and we actually got to see Eddie Venom versus Krang, not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kang the Conqueror, and I really enjoyed that. And it seems like they're setting up a whole arc with him and Venom. So it looks like Kang is getting involved in the Venom Mythos, which, my brother will be very excited about that. Venom is a favorite character, and he also really likes Kang the Conqueror. He actually has his first appearance, which I do not, but, so yeah, that's pretty cool. I like to see that. All in all, this issue, I enjoyed it a little bit more than the past issues, but still, this run has a long way to go before winning me over, especially when you compare it to its predecessor in Donny Cates' run. Doesn't even come close. Not even close. For me, just the art, the covers, makes it so underwhelming and boring, whereas if you look at the first 8 issues of Donny Cates' run, those books are so exciting. They had Ryan Stegman's fantastic, eye-catching art, and that really made a huge difference. So it's kind of just a mixture of the writing and the art on these books. It's just kind of boring. It's not as intriguing or exciting as past Venom runs have been. Either, you look at Rick Remender's run, you look at Donny Cates' run, both of those were incredible. I don't think this will hold up with those. Down the line when we look back at different creative runs of Venom, I don't think this will be near the top, basically. So hopefully that changes. Really, I just think we need a new artist, and that would make a huge difference for me. But that's what we got for now, so it is what it is. Next comic book. Got hair in my way. I was very much looking forward to this one. I mentioned that last Around the Boxes. This is Thor 26. Legacy 752. This is Banner of War Part 4. So I think the next Hulk issue is the last Banner of War part. So this is the last Banner of War in the Thor series. Love this cover, hulked out Thor. I was very excited for this book because obviously last issue we saw Thor Hulk out, and I was like, very excited to see that, and I was not disappointed. It was very cool. This story turned out to be really good. I was hesitant about Banner of War. I wasn't very excited for it, but I'm genuinely enjoying it. Getting to see hulked out Thor versus Hulk fighting was really awesome. Sif pulling Tony out, and then Thor Hulk straight up destroys the Bifrost, which we have obviously seen that happen in the MCU. Now it's happened in the comics. I don't know if it will be permanent or if they'll be able to fix it easily or whatever, but that's very, very cool. I like that a lot, and I assume there's going to be a whole arc in the comics now following that and what the aftermath of that is. But ultimately, Odin, in the mind of Bruce Banner... Ooh. Sorry, I got sidetracked flipping through this book. I didn't see this ad when I read it the first time, but it looks like Dan Slott's Fantastic Four run is coming to an end, which I am excited for, because I will probably pick up the new run. I dropped Dan Slott's run a few weeks back. Just wasn't doing it for me. But if his run's coming to an end, then I might pick up the new run. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. But anyway, so Odin and Bruce Banner team up, and Hulk wields Mjolnir and gets it Thored out. So he's basically a Thored out Hulk versus a hulked out Thor. So really interesting conflict that's kind of blurring the lines between the two characters, right? I mean, you had Thor versus Hulk, then Thor started hulking out, now Hulk is Thoring out. And I think that's a really interesting kind of reversal of the situation, right? Because going into this issue, we were like, whoa, a hulked out Thor, it's going to be so crazy. How is Hulk going to fight him? Obviously, Thor's going to be stronger. But then Hulk became Thor. And so that's kind of an interesting role swap. And it'll be really cool to see the finale. This issue ended with them colliding and just completely exploding the planet they were on. So it will definitely be interesting to see in Hulk number 8 what the heck is going on. And that fight is going to be really awesome. So all in all, I did really enjoy this issue. I do want to say they advertised the next issue at the back, and Venom Crossover, very cool. Going to be interesting to see how they do that, because Eddie Brock is kind of, not around right now, but it specifically says the King of Asgard meets the King in Black. Very excited to see that, because obviously Thor is written by Donny Cates, and he's my favorite Venom writer, so I'm excited to see Venom featured in Thor. He just can't let him go. He can't let Venom go. Why is my computer making noises now? He just can't let Venom go, so I'm very excited for that. It's going to be a 2-issue storyline, I think they said, so I wish it would be longer, but Thor, my biggest frustration with the Thor series right now, and this isn't with the creative team, this is more with Marvel as a whole, there hasn't been a full storyline in Thor in a long time. I mean, I guess technically the last one was, what was that one called? The one where Mjolnir became a living thing and attacked. That was the last storyline we had, but then we immediately had 750, which had, a bunch of stories. Then we had Banner of War tie-ins. I mean, I guess it's only been a few issues, but I don't like all the tie-ins. I wish they would just let a series run and have stories. But, I mean, I guess it's fine. It's not a huge deal. But I'm looking forward to the Venom storyline. And then hopefully after that, we'll have another 5 to 6 issue story arc. And hopefully this run keeps going, because I really, really enjoy it a lot. I think Donny Cates has been doing a great job on Thor and any book that he writes. Easily my favorite writer in Marvel Comics right now is Donny Cates. So keep it up, man. And last book... Pick of the week. We have Amazing Spider-Man number 3, Legacy 897. Almost at 797. Yeah, this is my pick of the week. Now, I was very nervous for this issue, as I'm nervous for every new issue in this run, ever since issue 1. But I gotta say, I didn't hate this issue. Now, the cover's kind of boring. I don't like the cover. But I want to be very specific here, because I have been dreading every new issue of Amazing Spider-Man, because I'm like, oh, are they going to make it worse, or are they going to make it better? Like, I don't know. And this kind of did both, but for me, the good parts outshined the bad parts. So let me kind of go through here. So the book starts off with some dude. I think this is the same dude from the first issue who brought the kids to Mary Jane's apartment. We do not know, I don't think, who he is or his relationship to Mary Jane. I think they want us to think that he's the father of the kids. And specifically, he's talking on the phone with her and he says, "Love you too." So I feel like maybe there's two options here. Either it is true and they are together and that's going to be really, really stupid and I'm going to be very mad. Or this continues to lend itself to my theory from issue 1, which is that I think they're debating all of us. I think that this is all going to be a gotcha in like 2 issues. I don't want it. Well, I do want it to be that, but I don't think they should have done it in the first place. I think that's really annoying. But that would be my optimistic hope, would be that basically they're not actually her kids, you know, and there's some explanation for the whole situation that's like it's not actually a big deal, and her and Peter are going to get back together. Like, she'll maybe be like, "Oh, by the way, here are these kids that are my cousins or something," and he's going to be like, "Oh, okay, yeah." Something like that, hopefully. But yeah, didn't like that scene. And then it cuts to Spider-Man and Tombstone, which that's great panel there. I don't normally like John Romita Jr.'s art, but that is not bad. And Tombstone is basically just beating the crap out of Spider-Man in this issue. That's basically all that happens in this comic book, but we get some development of his character and motives, which I thought was really good. I really enjoyed their interaction in this book. And it kind of touches on his origin and why he is the way he is. I was a little confused by these origin scenes because it's little baby Tombstone and he is pale and looking like Tombstone, but it was my understanding that he didn't become like that until years later, when he fell into like a vat of chemicals or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I need to brush up my. All right. Do they have to mow the lawn right now? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's very loud. Perhaps I need to brush up my knowledge on Tombstone's origin. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I thought that he wasn't always like that, but maybe. But yeah, so super interesting to see that, and I loved seeing their interaction. And you know, any good Spider-Man story always has the odds stacked against him. So you know, being chained underground with goons about to kill you as Tombstone is leaving to go and kill Robbie Robertson and like massacre a bunch of innocent people in New York. That's pretty good stakes. I like that. And this continues to confirm what I said with issue 1, which is in this new run, I hate what they're doing with Peter Parker. I hate what they're doing with Peter Parker, but I'm loving what they're doing with Spider-Man. And I'm really conflicted about it because I've enjoyed all of the scenes in these first 3 issues that have involved Spider-Man. Like when he's in the costume, I've really enjoyed. You know, the first issue he went and stopped that like gang deal, whatever. And then in the third, you know, and then he get captured by Tombstone, and this scene with him, like I'm enjoying all of that. I really like Tombstone. I love when Spider-Man deals with like the gang violence part of New York. You know, Tombstone, Hammerhead, Kingpin, stuff like that. I really, really like that. That's what I'm hoping they do with the MCU movies now. But so I'm really enjoying that. I just hate what they're doing with Peter Parker, making all his friends mad at him and Mary Jane broken up again and all this stuff. Like, just let my boy be happy. Let my boy be happy. I've been on a crusade to undo One More Day ever since issue 1. As you guys may have seen, I made a video on this channel. If you didn't see it, I'll try to remember to put a card up here after the stream. But you can also go look on my channel. But I made a video talking about Peter and MJ. I've made numerous TikToks talking about them. And yeah, it's just it needs to happen. One thing I guess I didn't talk about it on Around the Boxes. I talked about it on TikTok, but Joe Quesada's leaving Marvel, so I know he hasn't really been like overseeing the comics in a while, but he was still there and involved. So Joe Quesada, you gotta give him credit. Like he definitely did some good things. He probably saved Marvel from bankruptcy, but he's also responsible for a lot of the bad. And I think we can all agree that One More Day is his most egregious crime. But with all that said, this is probably my favorite issue from the run so far. I'm actually really looking forward to the next issue because you just know that's going to be a good one. The ending of this issue really reminds me of, if you saw the last episode of Webheads, not the most recent one, but the one before that, Amazing Spider-Man issue 32. Obviously the issue before the iconic issue 33, when Spider-Man breaks out of the rubble and basically pulls off the impossible. That's the Spider-Man formula. You gotta put him in the worst odds possible, trapped in rubble, room flooding, injured, medicine right in front of him, Aunt May dying, right? And then the next issue is iconic because he overcomes those odds. So this is reminding me of that, where we've put him in a bad situation. He's chained underground with mobsters about to kill him, and Tombstone's about to kill someone he cares about and massacre a bunch of people. That's bad odds. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him overcome them, because that is what makes Spider-Man stories so great. So looking forward to the next issue. Hopefully we get some answers soon about this whole Mary Jane thing. Again, I am hoping that it won't be what it seems to be, but I wouldn't bet money on it. I wouldn't give Marvel that credit. So we'll see what they do with it. Hopefully, we'll see. That's all I can really say. But that's going to do it for this episode. Short little 20-minute episode. Didn't have a whole bunch of books this week, but I probably will not have an Around the Boxes next week because, like I said, I think there's only one book coming out that I'll be picking up, so not much to talk about there. But so probably next episode will be in 2 weeks, but in the meantime, we will have a new episode of Webheads next week, and I'll probably have some other videos coming. I'm working on a video that's taking a lot more work than my normal videos do, so it should be really, really good. So if you can keep an eye out for that in your sub box, check that out when it comes out. It is a video talking about Maximum Carnage. So I'm actually putting a lot of work into that one, so if you guys can check that out when that comes out. But anyway, that's going to do it. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button so that I know you enjoyed it, and I can take that into account when I make future content. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I do Around the Boxes live streams every 1 to 2 weeks, showing my new pickups, discussing them, and make other comic book related videos. As well as if you want to check out my other content, links are in the description, or you can go to my channel. I have a couple other channels where I do gaming content and tabletop gaming content, stuff like that. But I'm going to stop rambling and self-promoting. You know where to find everything. Links are always in the description to my other socials and channels and videos and everything like that. So I'm going to turn the stream off. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.